Hello, everyone. How are y'all doing tonight? I see we already have a crowd already on and ready to go. If you guys could do me a huge favor, hop over to the chat box, enter in where you're from, so I kind of know where we have it, where we map out where we are. And let me know who all's here. I'm really excited about tonight, guys. It's going to be a very much an enlightening experience for you. If you haven't had much experience with your branding, this is going to give you a total different view, and it's definitely worth it. So as you guys come in, hop over there to the chat box. Let me know that you're here. Let me know where you're from, and that way we can kind of get to know each other. I see Pamela from San Diego. Welcome back, Pam. You were here last week, and I appreciate you coming back this week. That means a lot to me, actually. And Kim, Doctors Inlet in Florida. And Debbie, you're here too. It's good to see you here as well. Debbie, where are you from? Oh, there you are. Arizona. From Arizona. Wow, that's out there. Pretty distance away. Trina, all from New Zealand on holiday. How much fun is that? Wow. Well, ladies, welcome. Welcome. I am so glad you're here tonight. And like I said, we're going to be covering branding tonight. So I'm really excited. I got some good stuff for you. We're going to give it a few minutes here to let some people catch on. We'll give it just a few minutes. Hi, Shar. How are you? So glad you could be here tonight. I'm excited for you guys. This is really, really gonna enlighten you, and I'm tickled pink as to what's gonna happen and to see how you grow after tonight. Let's see. Have anybody say, oh, hey, Char. I am doing great, actually. Today, it's been real rainy and stormy outside, so we've had an inside day. And it's always fun because then we can play games with the kids inside. We have little carpet picnics and things of that sort. So it's quite fun when we have rainy days. Shelly, welcome. I'm glad you're back. Thanks for coming last week. I appreciate the support and you coming back again this week. That's awesome. That is awesome. Ready to learn how to brand. All right. I'm going to give just another minute or two because I know sometimes people get stuck with kids or in traffic or trying to tell their hubby one last thing before they can jump on and do something. I will let you guys know, last week, I had a PowerPoint set up for the entire presentation, and I had no idea I was on camera. None. I thought you guys were still looking at the PowerPoint presentation. So it was a technical glitch, but, this week, if by chance something happens, shoot me a little note in the chat box so I can turn the PowerPoint back on for you, because I really want you to see it, and I'm going to send it out with the recording, so you will have it. But just for sake tonight and recording sake, I'd like to make sure that it's on there. Shelly, thank you. At least you got the real me. You got the real true me when you saw me. So, I mean, it's not like I was trying to hide. But you saw my mannerisms and the way I was talking. And that's one reason why they say video converts so much better than anything else. Because people can see your mannerisms. They see that you're telling the truth. They see that you have passion. And they hear it in your voice. And they understand a little bit better that what you're saying is actually true. Oh, you didn't see my pajama pants. Well, I don't have any cute ones on today. They're just plain black ones. But I have pajama pants on again this week. I'm telling you, that is the glory of working at home. I don't have to worry about getting all dressy and gussy and all that stuff. It's wonderful. Half the time I get out of the bed, I do what I need to do around the house, and then I sit down and I'm in my pajama pants most of the time. Even if I'm on a call like this, I'm usually get my pajama pants on. A lot more comfortable than just plain Jane blue jeans, especially if you're just bumming around the house. Why not? More power to you, right? All right. Well, guys, I kind of waited for a little bit to get some people, give some time for some people to get on. What I would like to do is go ahead and get started because we have a lot to cover. And so be prepared with your pen and pencil or your pencil and paper, or get ready to have your fingers catch on fire from typing so much, from taking notes. Like I said, this call will be recorded, and last week I didn't get it out till I believe it was Saturday or Sunday. This week I'll plan on getting it out no later than Friday morning. I was trying to do some closed captioning for someone, and it just took a lot longer than I thought it was going to take. Excuse me, which is why it delayed the release of it. So I'm going to go ahead and release it, and then I'm going to try to close caption it after that. So again, I apologize for it being a little bit late last week, but this week I will make sure that I get it out Friday morning. I do want to clarify one thing. Kim, yes. Yes, what I'll do is when I send out the email this week, for those who are in attendance this week, I will automatically put a link there for you so you can access the training from last week, because the training from last week was a basic. We talked about a target market. We talked about attraction marketing, and those things will come into play along with the branding process and setting up online. So with that being said, I'll make sure that I have that link in there for you, so you can go in and watch that video. Debbie, are you wanting others to join this particular webinar? Because if you're wanting them to join this particular webinar, just send them the link. Okay, send them the link that I sent you. That's all you have to do. And once they go in, they'll put in their email address, and it'll send them the link to the actual webinar. And all they do is just click on that link so they can access the webinar from there. You're welcome. You're welcome. Yeah, invite. Any of you that are on here, invite. This is non-brand specific. It's absolutely free. I do this because I love giving presentations. When I was in college, that's one thing that I absolutely loved out of everything that I did. I really didn't care about papers and things of that sort. But when it came to a presentation, I was on it. I loved it. So, and that's one reason why I'm giving back. I'm giving value through this because it's fun for me, for one. And it also helps me learn and grow just as much as it helps you learn and grow. So it's exciting both ways. So, all right, ladies, well, let's get started. Let's see here. Let me get my screen. Now you're gonna have to bear with me here just a second. And hopefully we will not run into the same problem that we did last week. Let's see, let's go from the beginning. There we go. Now, can everybody see the presentation? Should see a picture of me, and it says Thursday night training. Let me know if you can see the picture. I have a barrel over here on the side. You don't see me. Well, that's good. That is awesome. Oh, Kay's in the house, y'all. Kay's in the house. That man, I told you guys last week that Kay is like, he's like super nice and he's smart and all that stuff. Well, I got to tell you guys, Kay has shown up on the leaderboards of a community that we're both in. And that is, to be among top people in the industry is a huge deal. And Kay has reached halfway up the leaderboards. It's awesome. It's killer. This man is gold. So if you look at my friends list. You can see Kay on there, and Kay can help you too. If I can't answer something, usually he's the first person that I go to, and then after that, if he can't answer something, then I have like a whole community to go to. So Kay has just blown his business up, and I'm so proud and happy for him because I know he deserves it. He's been struggling for a while. And so I'm awesome. Round of applause. Yay! All right, guys. Well, let's go ahead and get started. Tonight we are going to talk about branding. And I know you guys have all heard it. And I know you guys are all curious about it. Right? Every single one of you. If you didn't, you wouldn't be on here. That's what I mean. All right. So let's get started. So to begin tonight, I want to tell you where we are going, okay? Kind of give you an idea of what we're looking at here as far as what we're going to be covering, okay? I'm going to share with you a little bit about me and my story. Those who were here last week, you already know this, so this part's going to be kind of like, So if you want to do a quick graphic or something like that, you're more than welcome to, or if you would like to listen in, that's fine too. And then we're going to be talking about branding. Now, there's a couple of different things about branding that we are going to discuss, okay? And one of those, actually, I just knocked myself off again, didn't I? I don't know how I'm doing that. How in the world am I doing that? And you guys can see me now, can't you? I don't know what I did. Okay, here we go. There we go. Branding, what is it? Why do I need to do it? That's very important. How do I do it? Again, very important. And I'm also going to share with you some ways to protect your brand, ways to make your brand stand out. And then I'm going to take you on what I call a vision journey. And this vision journey, it is going to give you a relationship with your branding process. Okay, so it'll help you clarify exactly what it is that you want to brand and how you want to brand. I'm sorry, my computer just went crazy on me. Okay. All right, so to tell you a little bit about me and my story, I currently live in Hermitage, Tennessee. We have a family of 6. I have 2 stepsons, one that's 17, one that's 18, and 2 sons, one that's 5 and one that's 3. Yes, they are spread out like crazy. So I have one about to graduate, one that's going to go into school, and one still at home. Thankfully, he's out of diapers. So we are spread out, but a very happy family of 6. My online journey began in April of 2014 when I saw a friend of mine from college had started posting some things on Facebook, and I was curious about it. And so I talked to her about it. We set up a coffee appointment, and I sat down and we discussed it. And she had just gotten started in the industry herself. I think she had been in for maybe a month or 2. And we had sat down in January, and after some prayer and trying to figure some things out, and finances and things of that sort, I started April 1st with my primary company, and I was excited. I was really excited about this, and I did exactly what they told me was working. They were posting pictures, and they were reaching out, and they were sending messages to friends and all this other stuff. And that was all fine and dandy. And I was okay with that. All was good. But here's the thing. I started losing friends. I started losing followers. And I know some of you guys can relate to this. So in July 2014, I decided to go online only. Period. End of story. And one of the reasons why is because I didn't have the ability to drive to the meetings. My husband and I didn't have a car. And so I couldn't just jump in the car and go to meetings and pull people from here and there. And I wasn't out and about much. So it was hard for me to meet new people and things of that sort. So I was really kind of pigeonholed into this online only thing. So I started learning. I was like, okay, there's something to this whole online thing. So I started looking at the systems, I was looking at the platforms and the programs, and every single one of them costs money. Money is something I didn't have. I really didn't. I was, broke as a joke. And I mean, even the joke was doggone broke. So what I did was I educated myself absolutely for free. And then once I did that, I had validation by other industry professionals. So for example, when I found out about the attraction marketing method, I started looking to other people, other industry leaders who were doing this attraction marketing thing. And I started learning how they did it and the different programs and tools and things that they needed. And I have noticed that they have, we're talking about a lot of the same things that I had been studying. And I did this for like 2 years, y'all. I studied everything I could get my hands on for free. Like I said, I didn't have any money to spend on any fancy schmancy kind of training program or anything of that sort. And I tried myself to set up what I thought was going to be a legacy. Well, that took even more time. And then I finally found a mentor, Kay, and a community, and they embrace progress. They embrace getting better and better every day. And they provide support no matter what level of business you're in. And when I found this community, it made me feel like I'm at home, because not only is Kay absolutely wonderful and talks to me and helps me through things when I need it, but I can post something in the community and have a 6 or 7 figure earner come to me and be like, oh, this is how you do it. Da, 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 da. I mean, you can't get that if, every day of your life, if you don't know the right people or you're not involved with specific communities. So anyway, moving on. I found my community and I'm absolutely happy. I feel like I'm in love and embraced, and it's just a great thing. So now you know a little bit about me, okay? And I went through all of these things too. I found out all about this stuff. Some of it I found out by accident. Others, it was just kind of it was one of those things where people kept telling me, you got to brand yourself. You got to brand yourself. And I'm thinking, what is branding? I didn't even know what it was. So I went on an intensive study about branding. And this is what I found out. And I want to share it with you because this is going to help you in your journey. Okay. So to start off, branding, what is it? Now, this is my own definition. So don't be going Googling that kind of thing. But your brand is a collection of perceptions in the minds of the customer. Think about that for just a second. Brand is a collection of perceptions in the minds of the customer. It's whatever your customer thinks your brand is. You're like, okay, well, I got that. But there's 4 keys here to this branding thing to explain what it is. Okay? Branding is awareness about who you are and what you stand for. Okay? So who you are and what you stand for. The second key is your brand helps you establish trust, such as what is your experience? What are your credentials? And when you have a relationship built with others, trust begins to build, and then you have a real relationship. Their trust is built into that brand. Okay. The third key is perception. What are your skills and what have you achieved? This is not your perception. It is the perception of other people, how they see you. So what are your skills? What are some milestones that you've achieved? Like, for example, before, when I was just studying about lead generation and branding and social media marketing and all of that sort, I really hadn't achieved a whole lot. I really didn't. But just last week, I went from 0 leads 0 leads. You hear that? 0 leads? 0 leads and a 0 on my list to 12 people. Now, I know to some of you, you're like, oh, 12 people? What kind of joke is this? But honestly, for someone who has worked for 2 years and had 0 leads, generated 0 leads online, that's a big deal. So in my achievement, I achieved 12 leads. So my branding is working. Okay. The fourth key is your reputation. And this is more of like, what are your interests? You know, and this also entails additional personal details. So, for example, like this is where people see, are you a happy person? Are you willing to help others? Are you hateful? And that's where your reputation kind of comes in too. Okay. Branding, what is it not? And I know that's probably not the correct way to set up a sentence, but you'll see why I did it here in just a minute. Branding is not about self-promotion, but self-differentiation. There's a difference here. It's not about promoting yourself. It's about making yourself different than every other human being out there who's online or in business. Okay? Now, you as a person have unique ideas that create huge impact. And in turn, that gives you a unique impact. And that's why it's so important to brand yourself. So you can have that differentiation from others with your own unique impact. Now, personal brands allow individuals to differentiate themselves by consistently articulating and leveraging their unique value proposition. So you have, as a human, unique value. And part of your branding is showing others what your unique value consists of. So I want you to take a look at these right quick. And let me know, can you tell me who this logo is? Can anybody tell me who this is? Does anybody know? I have a few more like this. This is just the first. But who can tell me what logo that belongs to? Citibank. Shelly, you're absolutely correct. Absolutely correct. The next one. Can somebody tell me who this one is? Shelly, you're out of this one. You answered the first one right. Can anybody tell me who that one is? That one should be super duper easy. That's right. Bank of America, Pamela. Absolutely correct. Good job. Now, here's another one. This one's a little bit more tricky. If you have children, you probably know. Carla, good job on the Citibank. You're right. Well, these are just random brands that I picked out. There's, nothing special about any of them, but Pamela, you got it. Debbie, you did too. Good job. All right, Shelly, you can jump in on this last one. All right. All right, Kim, that's right. Lego is correct. And this one is the last one for this little activity that we have. Can anybody tell me what that one is? Good job, Carla. Bank of America, you're absolutely right. Intel. Good job, Shelly. Good job. You're on it tonight. Good job, Trina. See, you guys, you have an idea. So these logos, part of these logos give you an idea, and they give you a source of a brand. Okay. So, yeah, I agree with Kay. Shelley, you're too good at this. Well, one thing I need you to know is that none of these organizations treat their brand as an afterthought. Rather, it serves as their key differentiator. Now, branding is more than a logo. And we'll get into a little bit more here in just a second. Branding is more than a logo, but these logos that you see, when you look at them, you automatically connect with that brand. So, for example, Citibank, you connect with that brand as it being a bank of trust. Same thing with Lego. With Bank of America. And with Lego, Lego is a brand of toy, and it gives you the feeling of comfort and security and fun and excitement and creation, imagination, and the list goes on. Until it's all about computers. So it's really easy for you to be able to see how a brand's picture can make you feel mentally and immediately. So that brings us to branding. Why do we need to do it? Why do I need to do it? What's the purpose in this? I mean, is this just something else that they add to the mix and blah, 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 blah? No, it's very important. Okay, so here in the yellow circle, you have your potential customer, recruit, partner, whatever. Okay, this is your potential, which means someone who you want to talk to about your business. Okay, and then there's you. And what you're trying to do is you're trying to establish a hard line of connection direct from you to the potential customer. Typically, that seems pretty easy. In a real offline situation, it's not that difficult. You just stop, you talk to them, you're face to face kind of thing, right? It's a lot easier. But here's where the trick comes in. And check this out. Uh-oh, there's another rep in the picture. Oh man, they're going to steal my customer away. Now there's two. They're going to steal my customer away, and they just keep multiplying and multiplying and multiplying. Okay, now this potential over here is really having a difficult time deciding who over here they need to go with. You want that hard line with your potential, but you have all these people. Here's why you need to do this. You need to stand out among the crowd. It's that simple. You have, for example, all 5 of these reps are in, let's see, what kind of a business? In the business of, let's just say it works. I'm just picking a random, okay? These 5 individuals are in It Works. You're in It Works too. So how do you beat out the other 5? The other 5 reps are your competition. But you have to do something to stand out, not just post about your product, not just post about the opportunity. So you yourself have to make sure that you are different than everybody else. And how can you do that? Easy. You brand yourself. Okay? But here's how you do that. Okay? Which brings me to how do I do it, right? The value that you bring is how you brand yourself. Sounds pretty simple, doesn't it? And it kind of gets you thinking, value? What do you mean value? Like, I mean, there are some things that are expensive and you know, but that's not the kind of value I'm talking about. The value I'm talking about is content and uniqueness. Okay, we're going to go through a few things here that's going to help you with this. So one thing that you need to do in order to brand, and how you do it, is you brand your name. Now, some of you are like, okay, well, that's easy, you know, but I can't like trademark it and things of that sort. Well, that's not what we're talking about here. And there's ways that you can brand your name. You can actually come up with a whole nother name. You can have it, let's see, I'm trying to think. of a good one. If you have 3 or 4 businesses that you're doing, you can call it like Donaldson Enterprises. You know, if your last name is Donaldson, you can call it Donaldson Enterprises. That's part of your name, your branding. Okay. Another way that you can do this is that your profile picture, I know this seems kind of silly, but you'd be surprised when you look through pictures of people and they're trying to represent themselves in business or in a little bit more of a professional manner, and their photo is of them and 3 of their dogs. Your profile picture needs to be a clear photo of you. You're branding yourself. You're not branding you and your dogs. You're not branding you and your boyfriend, husband, wife, kids, etc. You're branding you. So make sure you have a clear profile picture of you. I know some of you have seen my profile picture and it's got that yellow thing around it. I know what you're thinking. Yeah, clear profile picture. Well, no, that is on there for purpose. That is a marketing, that it is there for marketing purposes. So before I watched the actual training on that, it was a regular picture of me and has been ever since I started. People do business with those that they can see clearly and they have an idea like what they look like. And so another thing that you can do is be super specific with your tagline or your slogan. So you have to think in business terms when it comes to branding. It's not about your primary company anymore. It's about you. And I know what you're thinking. How do I brand myself and then end up getting sales and recruits for my primary business? I had struggled with that too myself. But believe me when I tell you, it is super important to brand yourself. If you leave it open and you don't brand yourself and you're out there pushing and pushing and pushing your primary business, you're going to keep coming up with nothing over and over and over again, because the competition with everybody else that's in your business is just too high. You have to be unique. So you need to be super specific with your tagline and your slogan. So let's say, for example, you really have a passion for cooking and you are giving people healthy recipes and you're explaining different ways to cook and things of that sort. You want to make sure that that tagline that you have specifically dictates who you want to speak with. That's going to help you clarify who you're branding for. Now, another way that you can do branding is to be yourself and accentuate you. Like I said, it's not self-promotion, it's self-differentiation. So what can you as an individual bring to the table? Something that will accent you over someone else. Here's one thing that kind of goes by the wayside with a lot of people, and I really want you to think about this. And you need to check your email address, okay? AOL, Gmail, Hotmail, you see the little graphic here on the side where it talks about the different emails that you have, okay? If you read through the graphic itself, if you have your own domain and you have like, for example, if you have dana@danacarpio.com, people are thinking that you're solid, you know what you're doing, you're good, you're definitely a serious business person. It's not just some fly-by-night kind of company or person. The Gmail actually, the Gmail can tell you that most those individual people know their way around a computer, and they are at least somewhat self-sufficient. And some of these are kind of funny when you read down into them. Like, still thinks MySpace is hip. I don't know if any of y'all work on MySpace or not, but I do not. But as some of you know, my email address is actually a Gmail address. Why? Because in my journey, I am building up to my own name at my domain. So, I mean, there's certain things. You start off small and you start building and you gradually get better and better every day. And one thing that you need to do is define your target market. Who are you speaking to? Because you don't know how to speak to the person that you're speaking to unless you know or try to define who you're speaking to. It's very, very important in your branding process. Now, online, branding can be done with a website or a blog, whichever one, in your social media, in your email signatures. Branding goes beyond just a visual. And I don't know if you guys have seen me in other platforms, but I have the same background on everything. Like the background that's around the outside of the presentation here, that is my background on everything. On my website, on all of my social media, my Twitter, my Google Plus, my Facebook, doesn't matter. It all has the same. I found something that I really liked, and then that spoke to me, and that's what I created. But you can set up your brand on your own social media platforms, and you can also set your brand on your website or your blog. Your website and your blog, that's where it gets really good and really solid. You can drive your brand home and provide value for those who visit. Now, offline, it's a little bit different. Your branding still is effective, but you also have different methods to use it. So your business cards, if you have business cards made, don't make them with your company logo, with the primary company logo on there. Make them with you. People want to join you. People join people that they know, like, and trust. People buy from people that they know, like, and trust. It is a people business. People, come on. That's what we're in business for, is to talk with other people. So when you do offline, your business card should be about you. Your letterhead should be about you. If you decide to give classes about the benefits of your product, or maybe about, for example, the real estate market, if you want to give classes about that, brand you. It's about you. It's not about anything else. It's definitely not about your primary company. I'll tell you that. Another thing to help you brand yourself is be consistent. On every single platform that you're on in your blog posts and everything, be consistent with what you say, how you say it, with your work. Keep giving value. Over time, your brand will become stronger and stronger and stronger. One way to do it is just, I'm sorry, Nike, but I'm borrowing your slogan, but you just do it. Get out there and just do it. Stop playing around. Stop messing around on Facebook. Stop playing around on Twitter. Get the value out there in front of your target market. And it helps you to start giving your brand strength and longevity. Now, when you're branding, I want you to think long term. Okay, and we're gonna go deeper into this. When I said that we were going to be doing a journey, yeah, that's where the journey is going to come from, is the long term. So when you have your brand set up and you have an idea of what you want with your brand, here are some ways to help protect your brand. I know that there are some that have an issue with some of these things. Not everybody does, but some do. One of the biggest things I want you to understand is to be cautious with your comments. No abusive words or phrases. Help other people, don't hurt them. Whatever you do with your comments, whatever you say, and how you say it can negatively affect the perception of your brand. So if you're wanting a positive, uplifting brand, that's great. Then make sure that you don't turn around and give negative condescending messages to someone else. You want to protect your brand once you start establishing it. Okay? Here's one of my biggest things. And this is just all over. This is not just to protect your brand, but always double check your wording for clarity and your spelling. Now, your autocorrect can kill your message and the effectiveness of that message. Guys, it takes literally like 3 or 4 seconds, depending on how long your message is. Type it out, take that second or two, read through it again, make sure it's clear that what you're saying, someone else can understand it clearly, and that your spelling is correct, and autocorrect didn't put something in there that wasn't supposed to be in there. Now, I've seen some really hilarious messages with this autocorrect thing. And sometimes I think, well, why didn't they just stop and take a look at it? I always do. I read through things like 2 or 3 times before I ever post them. Because when you post them, that's it. They're permanent. And I want to make sure that my brand comes across in a certain way. In a way that doesn't have misspellings and that gives clear messages. Now, another way to protect your brand is to remember that people will always remember how you make them feel. So, for example, let's go with this. This is going to be cute. Little Debbie. Okay, Little Debbie snack cakes. Yum, yum, yum. They make me feel happy. Part of it's just a sugar rush, of course, but they make me feel happy. Why? Because they have sweet goodness. It's comfort. It gives me comfort. So whenever I want to feel comfort and happy and pumped full of sugar, what am I going to do? I'm going to go get me a Little Debbie. And that's the brand I was brought up with. It's a brand that I trust. My perception of that brand is positive, not negative. Oh, and I'm fully aware of what Little Debbie will give me. Yeah, an extra 3 miles on my walk, please. But you get my point. You understand my point. So you want to be careful also about who you friend. When you are trying to establish your brand, when you associate with the wrong people, it can give others the wrong idea about you and your brand. Just one person. So if you are someone who's always positive and uplifting and moving forward, the last person that you want to be friends with is someone who's constantly negative, always giving bad comments, and you just want to make sure that you are associating yourself with others who will uplift you and uplift your brand. So keep in mind, you want to resist oversharing, especially when it comes to politics or religion. I know I share on my personal page about religion. That's just personally how I feel. Not everybody agrees with it, and that's fine. They have their own beliefs. But part of my brand is to help those through faith. To me, faith falls a little bit into religion. Do I sit here and I quote scripture and things of that sort? No. No, but when you talk to me one-on-one, if you're really struggling with something and you're a believer, I'm going to tell you, pray about it. Because that is a common belief between the two of us. But if you personally don't feel comfortable sharing certain things about your religion or your political choices, just remember that those things can hurt and they can help your brand too. Just be cautious and try to resist the oversharing. Okay? Be mindful of your marketing, your social media presence. A lot of people think, well, okay, I'll just go out there and I'll just post a bunch of stuff, and honestly, if it's not quality, it's crap. I'm just going to be honest with you. If it's not quality, it's crap. It has no business being out there because all it's going to do is mess with other people's minds. And what's the purpose of spending all your time and your energy creating something that's crap. Why would you want to share that? Don't you want to share the quality stuff, the good stuff? Be positive, be uplifting. If that's what you want for your brand. Now, always, this goes back to the spelling thing and the clarity thing, but before you post, take literally 2 seconds to think, is this on brand? Is this who I'm about? Is this what I'm about? Is this how I want to be perceived? Just take a second and think about it. If it's not, scrap it. I'm telling you, if it's not, scrap it. You always want to put quality out there. You want to put things out there that are going to be representing you, yourself. So if you're kind of iffy about it, don't do it. Don't do it. Just put things out there that specifically identify with you and how you and what you want to share with your target audience. Now, here's one way to help protect your brand. You Google yourself. You want to make sure the information that comes up is accurate. You want to make sure it's current. And you want to make sure it's positive. When people typically Google things, they are looking for the negative. That's just human nature. Over and over again, we just look for the negative. So when you find negative, if it is an individual who's put it up there, try to contact them. And I'm not saying contact him to scream at him and yell at him and why did you talk negative? No. What I mean is when you find negative, you want to find out why they gave a negative review or said something negative about you or your brand. If you can speak with the person without screaming and yelling about it, if you're good at things like that, see if you can speak with them and try to get the negativity removed. Or make a comment on the negative information that says, this is really me. This is not true because of this, and this. Contact me with any questions. But you want to try to keep the negativity to a minimum. So Google yourself. I know that sounds kind of like, wow, she wants me to Google myself. But you'd be surprised what you find out. I've Googled myself quite often to see where my pages rank and things of that sort. And it's kind of interesting to see different things that go on and where you rank and the different information that comes up. So Google yourself. It's definitely worth it. So here's some ways to make your brand stand out. Okay. So you're not involved with all those other brands. You want to create an association of value by consistently providing value. Do you give value to others? Basically, okay, let's say, for example, I know a lot of you were not on last week's webinar. And so let me help you with the value thing. I know you might be kind of struggling with that. The value thing is providing content to your potential that will give them some sort of benefit other than just a smack in the face sale. Stop pitching. Give them value. If you are, I'm going to pull another name out of the sky. Let's say you're Unique. If you're with Unique, you're all about makeup, right? Well, how can you give value if you're just selling makeup? Simple. Think outside the box like this. If you're giving makeup, there are women like me, for example, who need help with their eyebrows. Maybe you could give a tutorial about the type of brush, the type of liner to use, the type of how to match the color to your original eyebrow. You give them tutorials. You give them valuable information that will help them, not just sell them. So there's an example of the value. One way to make your brand stand out is to engage and interact with those that follow and engage with your posts and contents. And this is for your groups and your fan pages too. Okay, I know you're probably thinking, well, of course I'm going to do that. I would be stupid not to do that. But you'd be surprised how many people they see people who just like their stuff and they're like, okay, they liked it. That's engagement. They read what you have. They liked it. They took the time and energy to press the like button. That's engagement. That's interaction. You want to capitalize on that. Here's a way to make your brand stand out, and that is to invest in yourself. Okay? Since you are branding yourself, you are giving quality and value of you to the marketplace. If you don't invest in yourself, how are you going to be able to continuously be able to provide value? You can't. But if you invest in yourself over your competitors, they won't possess that kind of thing. That gives you the competitive edge. The best way to do this, when you invest in yourself, it's not just reading a book. It's watching a training, turning around, putting what you learned into use, getting some results of some sort or another, and then turn around and teach others how to do it. Plain and simple, right? You would think so. But you can invest in yourself for free. Who says you have to go out there and buy a $600 course in order to invest in yourself? You don't. I didn't. I've invested in myself thoroughly over the last 2 years. And I continue to invest in myself every single day. I don't stop. Because there's somebody out there who will keep going if I do stop. And I'll lose my traction. And what good am I then? What value can I bring if I don't keep trying to add value to myself? So it's very important that you make sure that you stay ahead of your competition by investing in yourself and learning and growing even more. Be honest and open with others. When they ask you questions, be honest and open with them. It's easy. Don't be all sleazy and slinky, being the oiled hair used car sales guy or whatever. That's kind of what I think of when I think of a bad salesperson. But they make you feel slimy. The best way to establish that relationship with them is to be open and to be honest. You want to share solutions to the industry's pain and problems. So you want to give them resources and links. And that's kind of how you guys got here, is because of different groups that I've been in over the course of a week. And I've reached out to some individually, and others have just kind of seen what I've been saying and have approached me. And it's me trying to help learn and grow others by giving them resources, by giving them links to things that will make them stronger, that will bring them more money in their business, that will give them more confidence in what they do. And that is one way how I make my brand stand out above everybody else. But see, here's the thing. With me and my brand, I'm more important in what you're doing than I am in what I'm doing. I really have a true heart for helping others. I'll get paid on the backside eventually. I'm okay with that. But I would rather see someone else succeed by giving them information that they didn't have before, more than I would like $1 in my pocket. Now, I know you guys probably think I am absolutely out of my gourd for that. But it's true. I have a very giving heart, and I was very gifted to give. God made me that way. So, Here we are at the vision journey. What I want to do is I want to ask each of you to take just a minute, and I want you to look at this picture. Beautiful picture. You have the beach. You have these big, puffy, white, fluffy clouds. They're so beautiful. And then you have this cool palm tree. You could just see yourself sitting here with a blanket. Maybe you have your phone. Maybe you don't. Maybe there's kids playing around out there. You know, your children playing out there in the water. Maybe you're not. Maybe they're not. So I want to take just a second or two. Look at this picture. Now close your eyes. Nobody's watching. Just sit back and relax and close your eyes. This is an exercise. This is going to help you brand yourself. Now, as you're sitting there on the beach, you have your children running around. What do you feel? This is where you are because of your hard work. This is you have busted your tail for days, for weeks, for months just to be able to sit under this palm tree. You have done everything but pulled the hair out of your head. You made it to the beach. What do you see in your mind? Like I said, your eyes should be closed. In your mind, what do you see? What do you feel? Do you feel the ocean breeze on your skin? Do you smell the salt? Do you smell the salt in the air? You hear the kids playing. Maybe there's a seagull that goes by. You can hear the branches of the palm tree whipping around in the wind. Now, you can open your eyes. What you see, what you feel, what you smell, what you hear, all of that goes into creating your brand. But see, it's not on the beach. I want you to think about, before you start just putting stuff up for your brand everywhere, I want you to take some time this week to stop, clear your area, get into a peace and quiet area somewhere in your house. And I want you to think of the time when you are at the most highest level of success. Whether that being you on stage, collecting a big old check, whether that is you going to pick out your car that your company's going to pay for. Is that sitting on this beach? I want you to take some time to sit down and think about that particular time. And I want you to go through and I want you to ask yourself some of these questions. What did you feel when you had your vision? What did you feel inside? So if you are on stage, are you excited? Are you nervous? Are you happy? Or do you feel peaceful now that the stress of, I've made my money and I have a steady income and now I'm just, like really having fun. What did you hear? What do you hear when you hit your success point? Do you hear music? Some of us have, our own drummers in our head. Did you, if you were at the beach, did you hear waves in the background? Do you hear children playing around? Who was with you? Think about who is with you when you hit that pinnacle mark, that absolute top in your mind. Who was there with you? Was that your friends? Was that your family? Do you have you adopted Some family members? What did you smell? I know that sounds kind of gross. It depends on where you are. What do you smell? Do you smell flowers? Maybe it's fresh cut grass or the beach wind. Maybe you think about the pinnacle of your success and you are all set and you're taking one day off and you're laying down in your hammock in the backyard and your neighbor just cut the grass. And do you smell that grass? Do you feel that wind? I want you to be able to take the vision of you hitting that top mark, that top rank, when you feel in your heart that you've been truly successful. Take that piece and weave it into your brand. So, for example, my personal, I've had different visions. Some have been on phone calls that have happened on motivation calls, and others have been that I've sat down and I've really thought about it myself. I've had several different visions, but one of mine is actually of me on stage at the beach. I have a huge amount of people out in the audience. Most of them are team members. Some people are just fellow marketers that are out there. But I can tell you exactly what I'm wearing. I can tell you exactly what I'm feeling, what I'm smelling, what I'm, I can tell you what my hair looks like even. And that's because it's me. To brand yourself, you need to think of what your ultimate vision is and the things that you need to do in order to make it there. You want to be diligent about everything that you do when it comes to branding yourself. Now remember, this is you're representing. This is not somebody else. This is not a cookie cutter kind of thing. This is you. You want to be consistent across everything with your brand. How you talk, how you think. You want to be consistent. You want to be relevant to your specific target market. So you don't want to brand yourself as the person who knows everything about fishing if you really only know about painting toenails. You see what I mean? If you know about painting toenails, you want to brand yourself that way, or go get the education. That's going to take more time to do. But everything that you do, everything online is a process. You need to make sure that you're interesting. Be different. Be yourself. That's what it's all about. People want to connect with you, not with some product, not with some opportunity that you're trying to shove down their throat. They want to connect with you. Give them a reason in your branding to want to connect with you. Give them something where they step back and say, hey, that person's got it going on. Oh, yeah, that's awesome. Boom. There you go. You made a connection. You want to have that connection with your potential. And in order to make that happen, it's going to take consistent action of branding yourself and giving value from you. Now, we went over just a few minutes, but I do want to tell you that for next week, I'm going to tell you what we're going to do next week, and then I'm going to have a really quick Q&A session, and that way we can get some questions answered for you if you have them. So for next week, we're going to do autoresponders. And there's a reason why I'm jumping from branding into autoresponders, because it doesn't matter if you have a blog. It doesn't matter if you have fancy lead generation software. It doesn't matter if you have the lead pages all set up. An autoresponder is where you build your list. And you can ask any marketer who's been around that your money is in your list, And that is where you develop your relationship. You don't develop your relationship just by throwing up a post about a product in some random group. No. You develop a relationship with your people who are interested in what you have to offer through an autoresponder. And if you don't know what it is, we're talking about email. I know a lot of people are like, email schmeemail. How can that even be effective? I'm telling you right now, if you have a question about autoresponders and whether it's effective or not, ask Miss Diane Hockman. Diane Hockman is at the top of her game. And she, as a matter of fact, just put out a brand new program, which I'm going to be getting soon. I just don't know exactly how soon. But I've already made the commitment that I'm going to get this program. It's called Twist Your List. And this woman is brilliant when it comes to email marketing. Is it worth it? Absolutely. And next week we'll go through what it is, and I will show you how it is a very critical component in your business. And I can share with you also how it will increase your income and which different ones are available. And I'll even show you some examples of how to set it up. Like I'll show you a little bit of my back office in the Aweber, because Aweber is the one that I use. And there's others, but I find Aweber is a lot easier to integrate into other programs and other systems, because everybody's pretty much synced up with Aweber. But it's definitely worth digging into, because you don't have to. You may have to pay for the autoresponder, but you don't have to set up a domain and set up a blog and have stuff to write that way. You can take all of your contacts and put them into this autoresponder, and you can email them all at one time. If it's people who have purchased products from you in the past, then it's super simple to send them out a message and say, "Hey guys, I have a new product coming out, blah 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 blah." And it's also good for cross promotion too. So if you've started with one business and you're talking to them and you've given them value and you've connected with your people and you have developed that relationship with them, they'll more than likely come back and buy something else from you. The money is in the list. I'm telling you, autoresponders are extremely important. So next week, I'm going to share with you some things that are going to help you build your list, and some things that are going to help you take your list and actually be able to make some money from it within the next week. So if you haven't, or if you haven't had an autoresponder, or if you don't have an autoresponder, this is going to be definitely a training that you want to look forward to. Because I'm going to tell you, again, it doesn't matter if you don't have your autoresponder, if you don't have your list, you're going to end up being dead in the water. So next week we're going to do autoresponders, and then after that, I'm not exactly sure. I haven't quite made up a full mind about what I'm going to do. So we'll see. We'll kind of see how it goes from there. Maybe I'll tackle blogging after that. But of course, blogging is going to be definitely more of a lengthy situation. I'll have to probably set it up in more than one to do, more than one session anyway. So, all right, guys, I'm back. Hi. All right, guys. What I want to do is I'm going to open up the Q&A. So if you would, please drop a question in the Q&A box. It should show up on the side of your screen. If you'll shoot your questions in there, then I will do my best to get them answered. There is one question that came up last week, and there was somebody in one of the groups that I was talking in this week. And what I see that team mentoring. Okay. I'm going to put that down on my list. Let's do that. We'll do that after the autoresponders. We'll do team mentoring after the autoresponders. Okay. You guys have given me a good idea, and I'll go from there, and we'll grow it. We'll make it happen. Last week, there was a question about whether Facebook pages or your profile is more effective. And I said that I was getting ready to change everything over to my Facebook profile, my page, my fan page. My heart has been changed. And here's the reason why. Actually, there's multiple reasons why. But here's the main reason why. This week on Tuesday afternoon, I was on a training. And this individual is a six-figure earner. And I, in particular, sent him a message and asked him which did he get the most engagement from? Was it his page or was it from his personal profile? His response was this. He gets nothing. 0 from his fan page. Unless you boost the post. And when you boost the post, it means you pay. Not in giggles, but in real money. So basically, the way that this works, when you set up your page, there's not going to be a whole lot of people that are going to see it. Okay. And that's kind of tough to hear. And I understand. So I'm sorry, I kind of got distracted with questions. But basically, and I'll get to those in just a second. Basically, what the deal is, you can still post on your personal profile, but you just don't post your products constantly. You don't post your opportunity constantly. I know there's been a float around about the 80-20 rule and that kind of thing. You post about yourself and you post about your products. But if you embrace the attraction marketing model, you don't ever post about your products. You don't ever post about your opportunity. And for those of you who missed last week's session, when you watch, you will understand what I mean by the attraction marketing model. You attract people to you with value. So, and that's not selling. So Facebook can't really do a whole lot to you because you're not selling anything. You're providing value to a marketplace. And that's where getting away with using your Facebook profile, you can actually do that versus your page. Now, so what I have started doing is anything that I share on my profile, I'm going to start sharing on my page at the same time. So because some people find me through my page, some people find me through my profile. It just really depends on how they do their search and what comes up. So post on both. And that way, some people are going to see it twice, but twice is not going to hurt anybody. That's just an extra spot in their brain where you are. So now you've given them another, an impression. There you go. You've impressed another time on their brain. So, and so I'm glad I asked that question. He's a six-figure earner. There's no way that I'm going to try to battle that. So if you want to do it, if you want to do things on your original profile page, I say go for it. Just be careful not to be super salesy. Watch your links. Make sure that you provide value, and you shouldn't have any problems at all. So, all right, let me go over here to the questions. Did you open your Facebook page to the public, or is it still private? No, mine should be public. Mine should be public already. And Debbie, we will cover blogging. I know everybody hears, story upon story about people who start blogging and then they make all this incredible money. Can it really happen? Yes, it can. I am working on my blog. So I'm doing my blog and the webinars. Those are my two primary focus areas. So, and as I grow, of course, it'll get bigger and bigger and bigger. Consistency is the biggest part when it comes to any marketing whatsoever. What kind of posts would we be putting on social media daily, like Facebook? Can you give us some examples? Shar, if you're talking about providing value, let's see. Let's say, for example, you are with a travel company. Okay. One of the things that you can do to give value to your target market is to provide certain travel tips. Are they going on a cruise? What should they take? How early should they be there? Are there particular cruise lines that you want to stay away from? What are the quality reviews? There's packing tips. There's all kinds of things that you can do in order to give that person value. And then they're like, okay, wait a minute. You're talking about this and this and this. Thanks for the heads up. I really appreciate that. You start building a rapport with the individual. And that right there, when they see, okay, they're on the lookout for me, they're there to help me, then you're starting to build that trust and you build that relationship. So if you, all of it depends on who your target market is. I mean, let's say for skincare, you want to try to target those who are having skincare problems. You can find an eczema group. And if that particular, definitely check, if it's a closed group, definitely check with the group admin, make sure everything is cool. Don't go in there and just slamming your link everywhere, but offer a post, an informative post that will help them with maybe the side effects or different ways that they can, different ways they can eat without making the eczema flare up. There's all kinds of different ways to give value without having to pitch. Debbie, I'm not sure. Oh, the link for the attraction marketing. I will send that in the email with the recording for this session as well. And that way you will have both. This one, if you want to go back and look at some things, you can do that. And then you'll also have defining your target market and the attraction marketing and all of that as well. And just remember that one I didn't have slides on the screen during the entire webinar. Well, I did for like the first couple of slides. And then after that, it's me. But I will also include a copy of the slides as well. So I'll give you last week's training, last week's slides, this week's training, and this week's slides. That way you have not only a verbal way of being able to go back and go through it again, but you also have the slideshow that kind of gives you the overview of what's been going on. Now, if you want to share this with others, I don't mind them coming to the Thursday night training, and that's fine. Once they come to the training, I will send them the email, the recording, update them on new trainings coming out every week. I don't mind that at all. But I would like for them to attend a training session first prior to just giving them the training that I've already done. So, but you can invite them to the training next week if they're interested in autoresponders. And if not, that's fine too. They have them connect with me on Facebook, or if they have another platform that they like better. I'm not on all the platforms, but I do have accounts on every platform. Like I've got LinkedIn, Snapchat, Instagram, Twitter, Google Plus. Let's see, Wow app. I'm trying to think what else. But in Facebook just seems to be the main one. So have them connect with me if they have questions, or if they want the link for the next training or what have you. Because I'm somebody who loves to give, and I will give and give and give. But I would also like the opportunity to be able to build a relationship with them and see if I can talk one-on-one to help them grow their business individually. And I know some of you have reached out to me individually, and we will talk. I don't mind talking. I love having conversations on the phone. You just got to be aware that my children are here usually, and they're usually around me, so it might be kind of noisy. But that's the glory of being a work-at-home mom, right? it wouldn't be the same without our kids. So if nobody else has any questions, guys, I really want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for being here tonight. It really means a lot to me. It really touches my heart. I hope that you got a lot of information and a lot of value out of this training tonight. Like I said, this is what I love to do. This is what I want to do, is be able to give you this information to make you better and stronger every single day. I am here to empower you to make you successful. Oh, you're welcome, Debbie. Thank you so much for coming. I really appreciate it. I hope you have a great week. And guys, just if you're stuck on something, please feel free to reach out. That's what I'm here for. Just feel free to reach out to me. Don't feel like you're bugging me. I will be more than happy to assist you if there's something that I can't answer or there's something that I don't know. Like I said, I have a community that I can turn to and I can find out the answer for you. So just let me know how I can help you throughout the week. You guys have a wonderful week. And I will see you in the different groups. And I will see you next Thursday right here online. Y'all have a great and blessed week. Bye.